Joe. What's going on?
Good morning, Jed. How are you?
What's happening?
I just wanted to comment on your topic once again, the bashing of Gary. That was prior to you coming on.
The bashing of Gary. Go ahead.
Yeah, just a couple things. It's true enough that I believe they did have another murder in Gary, but it's easy to sit back, and just talk about the city of Gary and what's going on in the city. And also, it's easy to read the newspaper, get up and read the newspaper, have a cup of coffee, and just sit down and read about all the bad things that's going on, and not realizing that it is the job of the newspaper and the media to report all things that are bad that's going on in the community, locally and nationally. Otherwise, you wouldn't sell newspapers. I want to make that state that fact first and foremost.
What do you mean with that? It's our job.
You report the negativity that's going on in order to get listeners. The papers report negativity in order to have readers.
I mean, it's pretty. So basically, are you hinting that the papers and media, and being me in general, that we highlight the negatives so that people will listen, and we're just out to make money off of bad stories?
Yes, I am.
Ooh, okay. Why don't you throw salt in my eyes? But anyways, all right. So where were you going with that?
Okay. Secondly, I think there was a point about Governor Pence and what he's doing. Now, I don't know if you remember, I'm sure you do, that Governor Pence a couple of weeks ago had a meeting without the city of Gary being involved, talking about the problems in Gary. Everyone was there, I think Chesterton, Valparaiso, the surrounding communities, and everyone was there except people from or officials from the city of Gary. And I thought that was a slap in the face to the city of Gary. And hopefully Mayor Freeman Wilson will recognize that there was a slap in the face to the city of Gary, strategizing plans for Gary with Gary not even being involved.
Well, on the second part, I certainly believe that Governor Mike Pence can do more. I'm with you on that. And I'm not really sure why they're dragging their feet on helping Gary. And at some point, Governor's going to want to come on the air here and answer that. They have not wanted to do that, okay? I'm with you. There's questions there that need to be answered, okay? But in terms of the media, I always try to tell people, Joe, that I try to paint the world as it is, not as I wish it were. And that's worked pretty well for me for 9 years or 9.5 years now of owning WJOB. And the reality of the situation is that it is at times unsafe in Gary in a lot of different places because of the gun violence. And we are, I believe, better off talking about it openly here on the air so that everybody knows what's going on, that everyone can perhaps even have a part in coming up with some of a sort of a solution. But to not talk about the rampant gun violence in Gary would be irresponsible of me or any other media.
Also, there are things going on, programs and such going on in the city of Gary to combat those type of things, but that's not being reported. There are some good things going on in Gary. That's not being reported. But what you do have being reported, Jed, with you and the media, is, once again, those things that are bad. Anything that is good, they will not report that. And
I fully disagree with that, in that good stories come my way every day, and we try to just whatever's out there is what we try to report there. I can tell you that there's honestly no bias towards covering headline-grabbing negative stories. Not at all. The issue is, Joe, and the quicker that we all accept it, is that Gary is a dangerous city, and Gary is in complete need of help. All right? And that is the beginning of some sort of transformation of Gary is to realize just how bad it is right now. Joe, do you agree with that? Is it really?
Yes, I do. And
Is
once
it really
again,
bad? Is it really bad? I mean, how? What's the new one? Family-run convenience store. Somebody was gunned down yesterday. Okay, there it is, another one, and it's a huge story. But we've almost become. We're not even sensitive to it. It's just another murder in Gary.
okay, once again, there is recognition of that. But to bash Gary daily on all the murders is not helping any.
All right. Well, I mean,
I don't hear anyone offering any suggestions on how to improve the city.
well, I've got the mayor comes in every other week here, and we do that, and then we try to carry the other stories of things that are happening in Gary, East Chicago, Hammond, and so forth. The reality of the city, you know what I think's happening, Joe? I think it's setting in for a lot of people right now, just how bad it is. It's just setting in for a lot of people that didn't want to look at Gary. I'm serious, outside of Gary. The people outside of Gary that have ties to Gary, that have lived in Gary, that have worked in Gary, that have believe in Gary, and then all of a sudden everyone's just now realizing it, Joe. And it's kind of sad. All right, I got to move on. Thanks for your call, buddy. All right, there it is, 219-845-1100.